Hello, everyone. This is Kerwin and Keith of Father.Son.Galaxy. Our guest is Rob Levy, a filmmaker, pixel artist, and animator. Rob is the creative mastermind behind Inside the Box Animations, where he combines his passion for pixel art and storytelling. With a lifelong love for the Star Wars universe, Rob infuses his work with the magic of this iconic saga, creating a unique blend of nostalgia and innovation. His projects are a testament to his versatility and creative spirit. Rob is the creator of the Han Solo The Dragon Void Run, a fan made animated short based on the Han Solo Marvel Comics miniseries released in 2016. Rob Levy, welcome to Father.Son.Galaxy.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for that intro. That was amazing.
No, that was thank you. We we watched your fan made videos and we are just floored by your talent. We enjoyed them. We watched it more than once, the series. So we can't wait to talk to you about it a little bit more.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, and that means the world. I mean, I made this as a fan, for fans. So, like, yeah, just the opportunity to get to talk to you guys about it is really awesome. Thank you.
Tell us about pixel art animation. How does it work?
Yeah, so it works slowly and meticulously. It's kind of, or my pixel art animation style in particular, it's a mix of like 2D and 3D animation. If you've seen the series, so you can kind of tell that there's sometimes where it's more traditional animation that's more or less like stop motion that's cutting in between frames. So if somebody has their arms up or arms down, that's pretty traditional pixel art animation that would be utilized in any video game or anything like that. But then with this series and my animation art style, I bring everything into a 3D space, and that kind of gives me a lot of flexibility to do some more diverse and interesting stuff.
What did you just What did you discover about this animation that made such an influence on you?
Yeah. Oh man, how much time do we have? There's so much I love about the story. Um, yeah, it's well, firstly, as you mentioned, it's based the series that I made is based on a comic book. The writer is her name is Marjorie Liu, and the art of the comic is this art done by this artist Mark Brooks, both of whom I've fallen deeply in love with their work through working on this. And on first glance, like once I kind of read the comic, I really instantly fell in love with it. And then the more I lived with the characters and the story, yeah, the deeper I really fell in love with it. I think on the surface, the story has a lot to offer. It's a really exciting space race, and for a big Star Wars fan like me, like that really got me excited. Once I kind of saw that's where the story was going. But then there's also like this murder mystery, and then Han Solo is the main character. Like this story had so much going for it. But then as the story progresses and we meet the other characters, Lou Rayano is probably second to Han Solo, the other main character in this story, and the role that she plays is kind of like this mirror to Han Solo. I like to kind of think of it. Really, just kind of lends itself to an interesting story and interesting dynamic between them two, where Han Solo is kind of going on this adventure that, again, on the surface is kind of has a lot going for it, but he's learning a lot about himself through these interactions with these different people. So again, I just think there's so much going on in the story. Marjorie Liu did an amazing job writing it, and yeah, and again, the art was very inspiring, and I tried to do my best translating a lot of the artwork and like the environment designs and the ship designs and the character designs, as much influence that I can get from the comics to make people watching it kind of get that same feeling I felt while reading it. That was kind of my goal.
Was this the first pixel art animation you've done? This fan made film for Han Solo? Is that the first time?
Yeah, so this is what started me on my whole pixel art journey. I didn't I never drew pixel art or never even thought about doing anything pixel art related until I kind of had this idea and needed to figure out a way that I can do it. So that's what brought me ultimately to pixel art.
Is this a skill that you learned in school?
No, unless you consider YouTube a school, which I do nowadays. I learned pixel art, yeah, mainly just through YouTube and through just a lot of practice. My early stuff is not as pretty as my stuff nowadays. So it was a lot of trial and error. But yeah, no. Oh well, you know what? The pixel art. Sorry, pixel art. No school. I did go to school for filmmaking though. That definitely had a lot to do with what made this possible. I should have said that. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I
It's
went
fine.
to film school, and that's my profession is in filmmaking, and I've made films for many years, and I've always wanted to tell a Star Wars story. So ultimately, that's how I got here. But yeah, definitely school helped me. Yeah, learn how to make a movie for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. I almost forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Okay. Yeah. So we could see that you had the skill set to be a filmmaker. So we were wondering where if you went to school for that, but not particularly for pixel animation, but you did study filmmaking. Got it.
Yeah, exactly, and not animation at all. And sorry, I don't want to like keep going on about, but just but yeah, I definitely like the style of animation that I do. It was really cool to be able to do this with a digital camera, more or less. So that's really where my background in filmmaking, that came to play in the animation world. But also, I casted plenty of movies before, so when it came down to wanting to fully voice cast this film, this is all stuff that I've done before, and all of it kind of did culminate to this moment that yeah, that got me ready to do something like this.
So you're a lifelong fan. Could you share with us your Star Wars story?
Yeah, for sure. So I fell in love with Star Wars from as early as I can remember. My biggest memory, like really thinking back, I loved the original trilogy. That was my first exposure to the Star Wars world. But I was the age where the toys were kind of everything for me, and just collecting all of the different toys and really building my own galaxy and telling my own stories with the toys was really kind of a really big part of my childhood. And then the prequels came out, loved the prequels. Everything from then on, I've just always really loved Star Wars. Lightsaber battling with my brother, it's just kind of rooted in my DNA at this point.
What's your take on the ever expanding Star Wars universe, especially the new series of films like the sequels, the new arc of the Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and stuff?
Yeah, the
What's your
Disney
take?
Plus series. Yeah.
So I mean, I love all Star Wars. I'm kind of just easy to please in that way. Ahsoka was great. I do Um, yeah, I do have, mixed feelings about things. I don't think everything's perfect. I am also, I mean, I made Han Solo Dragon Void Run, so I'm one of the, I feel like maybe the few people that really liked the Han Solo movie, and I'm really rooting for Alden Ehrenreich to come back and do more, because I thought his portrayal of Han Solo was amazing. Um, so yeah, I like a lot of it. I definitely don't like some of it. But we'll save the hot takes for a different time.
Yeah, I like the Solo movie too. I don't get what the issue is. I think it was awesome.
Yes, thank you. I agree.
Is Han
And
Solo is Han Solo your
it's
favorite character?
you know what now he is for sure. I love him. Growing up, I was always more of a Luke Skywalker guy. That was my hero. Um, but yeah, Han Solo. Uh, especially just getting to live with his character more, and I see a lot of my own journey kind of in him. So I definitely I'd say Han Solo now for sure.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about your fan series. So it is a fan series, which means that you don't make any profit from it. It's just something that you love to do. You did touch on a little bit about the Marvel Comics issues. Why did you want to? Well, just to give people a little bit of background, it takes place after A New Hope, right? So it falls in between episodes 4 and 5, immediately after 4, as a matter of fact. Leia sends Han on this mission. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the mission is? What does Han set out to do? What does Princess Leia want Han to do?
So there's a mission. There's a master list is what it's called in the series. Um, but yeah, there's something that the rebellion needs, and they had gathered people to get that have been dying off one by one, essentially, when the story starts. So Han kind of just gets recruited as almost kind of this last effort to retrieve this master list for the rebellion. But then the additional twist on top of that is, in order to retrieve the master list or the other spies that are working for the rebellion, um, they have to participate in what's called the Dragon Void Run, which is basically the World Cup of space races. It's the biggest race in the entire galaxy. And the reason they have to do it is because they have to visit planets that align with the race. So it's kind of all this, uh, yeah, just bad timing that, yeah, they have to do all this while, again, the greatest race in the world is happening. So I hope I did an okay job. There's a lot going on in the comics, so trying
No.
to sum it up quickly is tough.
Right. Without giving away spoilers, I guess we want people to go back and read it for themselves. It is a very good series. You didn't hear too much about it, unless you're a big fan of the comics. You probably didn't even know this series out there, but it is a really good one. And you decided that you wanted to adapt this series. Your shorts are about 10 to 16 minutes long, so there's some things you couldn't include everything from the comic book into your short films. So how did you decide what material to leave in and what to take out?
I mean, okay, I there's definitely one part I can remember off the top of my head that I left out, but other than that, it's gonna be tough to find stuff that's not in the series that's in the comic. The first episode or first issue, the opening scene is in this bar, and then after that they go out into like an alleyway, and that then like the following scene they go into a rebel bunker. But that scene in like the alleyway, and that's like this exterior city, I think I was just scared at the time. It just kind of overwhelmed me with everything going on. And I was like, I have to build so much stuff. Like all these interiors I managed to figure out how to do. But the idea of like portraying the city, that I don't know, something about that scared me at the time. So when we were writing the adaptation, I did this with a partner of mine. His name's Oliver Bayer, and he helped me write like the script version of this. And that was honestly probably the only part that I remember when we were writing that we reworded some things just so we can jump from the bar to the bunker, because it was kind of just this transitional scene. And I was like, I don't even know how I can do this. Can we just write one line that'll get us from A to B? And that honestly, like, I feel even guilty saying it. I think that was the only corner we'd cut. Other than that, I really do think we got pretty much every line of dialogue, if not, I mean, every line of dialogue, if not more, in there. We definitely added some stuff, some of the crowd extra dialogue and some sprinkles here and there to help fill in some gaps. But I really wanted to adapt it as, as true as I can. I never read it and felt like there was stuff that needed to be changed. I really kind of wanted to go about it and just see how truly adapting it would work. And I'm sure if I ran into anything weird, I would have probably addressed it or, made changes. But the story really, it all flowed really nicely. And I thought it all really worked. pretty perfectly. So I didn't really change all too much.
Yeah. And if I recall, there when you're reading the comics, you hear a play-by-play commentary of the run that Han Solo and the other racers are participating in. But in your short film, you actually have two characters in a booth, it looks like, giving a play-by-play of what's going on the screen. I thought that was very creative to do.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Oh yes, thank you. That's so cool.
yeah,
Oh my God, that's yeah, amazing to hear. And I mentioned my friend Oliver Bayer. He actually is the one that sketched those designs for those two aliens. We thought it was a good opportunity to make something original and rather like we pulled from every Star Wars species we can think of for extras in all the bars and stuff. But for those characters, we thought it'd be fun to just try to create something new and yeah, just something that we can introduce to the Star Wars world. That's so cool that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much
yeah.
for mentioning that.
It would have
That's
been really
awesome.
funny if you based them off the announcers for the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They reminded me of the right, the pod race. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm
cool.
sure in the back of my head that
Yeah.
like the as far as the tone and attitude goes, I'm sure that's what I was thinking. Absolutely.
Definitely. I heard that.
And you have such a great attention to detail, and you do a very good job of blending the visual effects of the sound, and especially the music. I want to talk about the music. I'm a fan of John Williams. He has so many cues that he's written for these Star Wars films over the years. How did you decide what cue worked for a particular scene?
Yeah. Ooh. Well, again, I thank you for mentioning that because I can shout out one of my other collaborators. His name's Julian Crowhurst, an amazing musician and sound designer and sound mixer. He had actually I had done a feature film for my like senior project back in film school, and he'd done the music for me on that film. So we go back a lot of many years, and he's a huge Star Wars fan. So I roped him in real early. I was like, "We're doing this. Please help me." And he was really instrumental with helping lock down the music. When I was editing, I would put in temp music, and I had John Williams' library of all of the original prequels and sequels probably all in one folder. And then as we yeah, I don't know if I had them all from the jump, but as we started getting deeper, I was like, we need more. I'm sure I had the Han Solo soundtrack from the beginning. Also, we were using that. We really wanted to utilize. Yeah, we wanted to utilize that. There's some amazing music in that movie. But then we're all Star Wars fans. My friend Oliver, he's a little deeper into the animations and stuff, so he was able to pull some cues from the animated series that I didn't hear about, but I would just say, hey, do you have anything for this scene? He would send me ideas. And then at the end of the day, we would always filter it. Julian would have it. He would look over everything, and he kind of would be the last say, adding other songs or switching songs, and it was a really big collaborative effort. But yeah, a lot of fun. It's yeah, just so cool to have the opportunity to get to mix this caliber of music together. So I'm sure yeah, we all had a great time doing that.
And what we also enjoy is the voice talent. Can you tell us more about the actors that you use?
Yeah, being located in New York is amazing. So that was a big reason why I think I was able to get such a talented cast. Some of them are people that I've collaborated with on some of my earlier films and stuff like that. The guy that played Dylan Vuk, his name's Dan Stern. I've worked with him numerous times. The Twelix are actually two. One of them is an actress and the other one's not, but they're two of my good friends and they're best friends, and I knew they would be amazing, kind of having this banter, and their attitude was just perfect. But then we also and when I say we, it was really me and Oliver that were doing the casting, and we were kind of the only two people at that point. um, and we wanted to cast or have as much of a diverse cast as we could, especially when it came to the um, the non-human races. Like we really just didn't want either to have a bunch of American accents playing, all these different aliens, or having Americans doing accents to play aliens. We thought it would be way more interesting to, from the gate, kind of look for unique voices. Like, we didn't look for anything particularly specific, like as far as where where a character should come from, what their dialect should be. It was more like, just, does that dialect sound like that character with that person performing it? Great. Lou Rayano, she was amazing, and she was a French actress that, her English was not, it's not her first language, and working with her was, I'd say, out of all of the actors that I recorded, we definitely had probably the most speech barrier between us, but it I feel like all kind of worked for the better, because her attitude was just so great and so giving, and we were both kind of in it to win it, that even when things sounded a little weird, we kind of just kept rolling with it. And again, in the back of our mind, we knew that these were aliens. Nothing really has to sound how we think it sounds, or if you pronounce something a little different, great, keep going. Now we have something a little special in there. So yeah, that's a little kind of insight into how we thought about the casting.
I'm so glad you brought up Lorraine New because I love that actress voice, and I yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, Lou
just
Rayano was a great character.
yes, absolutely. And I have her name here, and I know I'm going to mispronounce. Is it Jorel Champeroux? Is that close? Or?
I mean, that's as good as I would do. So yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout her out. I don't know what other works that she's done, but I want to look into some of her projects. But she was just amazing. That was an
Google
amazing
it.
voice she did. Yes, I can Google it. Thank you very much.
No, I'm so glad. Yeah, she's just so amazing, and I think she is a mother, and like, I know we got this kind of very motherly energy, which I think was really important for that character, and maybe not even the motherly, more is just wisdom. Like, there's something in her voice that just,
Yes.
it draws you in. So I'm so glad
Yes.
you
Yeah, it just, she shows maturity, and, she's just very confident in herself, and she talks about her people and being closer to her people. I just, it was just amazing. The voice fit the character so well. So well done.
That's so great.
In the age of technology and digital media, how do you balance preserving, the charms of the analog pixel art with modern storytelling?
I feel like it's weird. It's like, because I understand that pixel art is retro and there's something, kind of old school about it. But when I look at the series, it doesn't feel retro necessarily. It kind of, if yeah, I don't know, it feels kind of like I'm breaking some rules. I always feel kind of bad about it. Like, this isn't real pixel art if you're like a really hardcore pixel art dude. Um, but yeah, as far as the I'm sorry, what was like the question again? I'm kind of spacing a little bit on that.
In the age of technology and digital media, how do you balance preserving analog pixel art with modern storytelling?
Okay, sorry.
No
Perfect.
problem. Happens to
Yeah,
me all the time.
I think my answer, to make it simple, will be, I try not to think about it. I wanted to tell a story. That was the most important thing. However I could have told that story, I would have. I chose animation and pixel art because I frankly couldn't afford to do this in live action if I wanted to. So the important thing was, I fell in love with the story. I got the bug that I needed to tell it, and it was really just a matter of figuring out how I would do that. So I'd say nothing really changes. Is, you have a story you want to tell, and tell it, kind of thing.
Tell us more about some of your other projects.
Well, yeah, the Han Solo just came out, so that was something I've been working on for a while, and I'm really excited to see, now that that's done, where that kind of pull in my creative energy will take me. I haven't quite figured that out. But I also my other kind of like role these days is I founded my own. It's an NFT collection called Dizzy Dragons, and it's basically this world that I've been trying to create. And I feel like what I did with the Dragon Void run, as far as building a world as rich as I could, that really got me feeling like I need to do that kind of my own, and that's really what Dizzy Dragons has been. It's kind of been my first real attempt at building my own world, and going to be telling cool fantasy stories. So the future for me is really kind of just figuring out what to do with all of this experience, and yeah, just continuing to tell stories, and hopefully my own world. Like you mentioned, this was all a fan film, so there was no part of this that I was ever expecting to get paid or anything. This was really more about it was a learning experience for me, and kind of just fulfilling this lifelong dream of telling a Star Wars story. And kind of there's this like saying that I remember hearing on a TV show many years ago. I might butcher the quote, but I'm going to attempt it. It's basically, somebody was like asking for an investment or asking for money, and the person basically said to them, like, don't tell me what you want to do, show me what you've done, and then we can talk. And that was kind of my mentality with my entire filmmaking career, but really with this, that I would love to work for Disney one day. I would love to work for Lucasfilms. I would love to tell more Star Wars stories in an official capacity, and I wanted to make that calling card and not be tugging on people's coat jackets like, hey, please listen to me, I think I could do this. I wanted to really get a proof of concept of what I think I'm capable of producing in a galaxy far, far away. So
What's the most challenging aspect of creating pixel art animations?
the most challenging part is the time, because I think the fortunate thing, or the fun thing about pixel art, is that it's fairly simple when you break it down to the individual pieces. It's really just how many pieces are you drawing, how big is that canvas going to be. So with pixel art, the toughest thing I think is really kind of keeping your eye on the bigger prize and not getting overwhelmed um, by one pixel at a time. Really just knowing what it's all for, and then the 20, 50, 100 hours or whatever it takes to get there doesn't feel like that.
In the realm of animation, who are your biggest inspirations and influences?
I mean, I don't I, with animation, I feel like growing up, it was really Pixar, Dragon Ball Z, and Pokemon were my animation influences. And then growing up, got more into films, and now I highly look up to a lot of filmmakers like Martin Scorsese, the Coen brothers. I am and like Ron Howard, like we were mentioning Han Solo before. Ron Howard, I love him, and there is a film of his, Rush, that I think is highly underrated. And if anyone hasn't seen it, please go watch it. That was something I was watching pretty consistently throughout this process. It's a racing movie, and it's about two of the top racers essentially, and their rivalry slash friendship. And there was a lot of similarities I felt between that and the Dragon Void run. So, and Ron Howard, yeah, since he directed Han Solo, it was like all this weird kind of similarities. I'm like, this world is way too small. But yeah, love a lot of things. It's hard for me to say, who's on top or make lists like that. I'm always weird with that stuff.
Hey, Dad, you want to hear something awesome?
What's that?
Guess what? Ryan Reynolds and Grant Gustin didn't add for Mountain or something.
What does that mean?
They didn't advertisement. And there's multiple references to the Flash.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds is also Deadpool, and Deadpool 3 is coming out in 2024.
Yes, right. Okay. All right.
Maybe we'll get Grant Gustin in Deadpool 3.
Okay. Keith is a big fan of the Flash, and he
awesome.
yes, he loves
I'd like
the
to
Flash.
emphasize that.
That's his influence and inspiration.
I hear that's the best one, so it sounds like you're watching the right one.
Yeah. I made the mistake of letting my introduction to the Flash be the movie.
That's fine.
Nah, I'm just kidding. It was a very great reflection point, so I could see where the Flash has been and where he was.
All right.
Okay. I think the movie was refreshing.
Okay. Flash is for another time. All right. We'll talk about the Flash.
Yeah, when will I get to talk about that?
Very soon.
2 weeks.
But right now, we're speaking of Rob Levy. All right. Rob, your talent. Yes, your talent. You have incredible talent. And what I want to do is anybody who is watching or listening to this episode to go to your YouTube videos or your website to see your work because it's incredible. Where can people find you?
Thank you. I really appreciate that. So our YouTube channel is Inside the Box Animations. That has the Han Solo the Dragon Void series. And I've also done several music videos that I have listed on that channel as well. You can also go on my website, which is just insidetheboxanimations.com. And on social media like Twitter and Instagram, I'm Rob Levy Pixels. So pretty easy to find there. Just really appreciate anybody watching and sharing the series. I think the best thing or like the most I can really ask for with a fan film like this is just to share it. Again, I can't ask for money. There's nothing I can really gain from this other than future opportunities, and that can only happen if people see the work and I'm available for work, Disney and Lucasfilm. So if you do see this, let me know. But yeah, that's where you can find my stuff.
All right, we will absolutely pass the word on. Like I said, your work is fantastic. It's incredible. I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I look forward to seeing more of your work.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Really Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Our socials are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Father.Son.Galaxy. Website, Father.Son.Galaxy.com. We have a merch store full of sweaters and stuff. Keep yourself warm, please. It's like 39 degrees right now, and I just can't with the weather. We also have mugs. If you're ever pruned and you need something warm to drink, we have hot cocoa mugs that you can put your hot cocoa in. I'm trying to tie in Loki.
I get it.
Today's a new Loki episode as of when we're recording this. It's also the Gen V finale and the first episode of Invincible.
Is that all tonight?
Yeah, wow. We're feasting good. And I think there's also like a new update to Spider-Man 2 that allows you to replay missions.
Oh man. Okay.
We're really eating good. we're eating good in the neighborhood.
Do you play any recent games? Any video games, Rob?
No, I don't. There's in the NFT world, there's some metaverses. I don't know if you're familiar with the term, but there's a couple of metaverse games that I do play that take up a couple hours of my day. But other than that, I don't. What was that? Sorry?
Do you have the Meta Quest 3?
No, the VR? Not yet.
Yeah,
I need to get one.
I've been wanting that. I just started seeing ads and I like it's kind of funny the weird things they have on the front, but it's like I like it. I think those are visual receptors. I don't know.
Yeah, they're honestly,
I could probably make my own VR headset outline. I just can't code in the screens in games. I'm not.
I would love to be able to walk around and
cat move. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of my abilities. But
Yeah.
if Scratch has taught me anything, it's that nothing is impossible.
Yeah, no, I was gonna
And
say I'd love
honestly,
to
it's so
walk
hard.
around in the pixel world with the VR goggles. I definitely imagined that while working on it.
You know
And
what?
also that reminded me one thing. I was curious if you guys had seen, because I don't think a lot of people that have seen the series had watched. I also have on the Inside the Box YouTube channel the behind the scenes of the Millennium Falcon walkthrough.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Um,
did see
You know
that.
what?
Yes, yeah,
I
that was
only shouted
amazing.
out because I put so much work into doing it for like it was all in pieces for the actual series because I'm only shooting one section at a time,
Mhm.
and putting it all together took me many days, and I really just wanted it for this kind of behind the scenes. I was like, it'd be so cool if we can just do one full camera swoop.
Yeah, yeah, that was incredible as well. Yeah, I don't know if you got a chance to see that,
I
but
did not. You know
yeah,
what? You should make like an app where you can play as Han Solo through the Dragon Run in a game.
Oh, don't tease me like that. I wish. You gotta call Disney and tell them to get that happening.
I will. Like I'll do
Please.
my best. I'll see. I'll see if I can get Lucasfilm
see,
to send you an email.
Keith knows people.
Hey, I feel good with you on my side, Keith. Let's go. Let's take
Hey,
over the world.
this is why I save up my favors. Okay, this is why I try to save up my favors.
One
You're
last
smart.
question I forgot to ask Rob.
Did you?
Yeah,
Did
it
you
just
now?
occurred to me. Who does the voice of Han Solo? Is that you or is that someone else?
Oh no, yes. So it's unfortunately a really talented actor that he is in the union and did this out of just the love of Star Wars and acting. He committed so many hours. Like I recorded with him far more than anybody else, and yeah, I wish I can credit him. And again, yeah, he's a really good actor
Wow.
that I'm really happy we were able to get. Maybe one day I can share it, but I did touch base with him a couple of weeks ago before I released the final episode, and we were on the same page. He's still, yeah, everything's still you know has to be the way it is. So
Yeah, so he has
one
to
day.
It's
remain
really a shame that it's been
anonymous.
taking this long just for the writers to get paid fairly. Like it's
Yeah,
been months by now,
yeah, no,
and we're just all pitching tents and waiting for the fire to die out.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
Oh
don't.
yeah.
I think there's too much kindling in this fire for it to go out anytime soon.
We hope that there's an answer
Fair
to
wages,
the
everybody.
actors
Fair
strike. Yeah, I know
wages.
that's what they're looking for. It's taking longer than people expected, but at some point, it has to come to an end. So
Yeah.
just have to wait and see. Yeah, but great. I mean, all right.
Somebody's got a buckle.
Just tell Harrison Ford he did a very good job doing the voice of Han Solo in your film. Yeah, you
Hey,
can keep.
hey,
I won't
don't
tell
blow up my
anybody.
spot.
I won't tell anybody. It was Harrison Ford. So, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I did say he's my great, my great uncle or uncle
Go.
or something.
Okay. All right. So he has some time. Yeah.
Harrison Ford's my
He
great
still loves
cousin.
that character.
He's my cousin. For all legal and intents purposes, this is a serious joke. It should not be regarded as truth, or it is
That's correct.
entirely
There's a
purely
disclaimer
fiction.
right at the bottom. Yes.
He's my half cousin.
This is just a joke.
That's so cool. Like, you guys definitely you thought he was a good Han Solo though. Like, did
Very
he
good. I
lived up
actually
to
Of
the
course,
Harrison
Harrison
Ford?
Ford's a good Han Solo.
no. Well, the character, well, the actor who voiced the
Yeah, I know.
Han Solo,
It's a joke.
right? Okay. I thought it might have been you because you didn't want to credit yourself, but this is intriguing. It's somebody else. Okay. All right. Well, we understand. It's want to keep that a secret for now. But if you're ever able to tell us, just shoot us an email and let us know. We'd love to know.
You got it. You'll get the inside scoop. I promise.
Thank you so much. All right. Rob Levy, the founder of Inside the Box Animations. Thank you so much. Once again, all the best to you and keep up the great work. And we look forward to seeing more of your movies.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you guys having me on. Huge fan of your channel. Really love what you guys do. So just, yeah, thank you for helping me share this. Great
Thank
chatting with
you.
you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate your time. So thank you, everyone, once again for tuning into this episode. Until next time, take care, and we will see you again.